managers describe interest-free financial services, generally known as Islamic finance, as a fast-growing financial sector with over 200 billion in assets worldwide. With a population roughly split half and half between Muslims and Christians, Nigeria is home to sub-Saharan Africa's largest Muslim population. This in theory presents a huge market for the practice of various forms of Islamic finance business. Indeed, several states in the predominantly Muslim north have adopted Islamic Sharia law, paving the way for the growth of Islamic banking and investment practices in these states.
You must understand that a significant part of Nigerian population, particularly in northern Nigeria, is Islamic. They've in many ways adopted the Islamic way of life. They have Islamic marriages, and they've, in some areas of civil law, as you may be aware, adopted this Sharia, even to govern some states in the north. So there's a substantive part of the Nigerian population, particularly in northern Nigeria, that would like to see some aspects of Islamic banking.
As part of ongoing reforms in the banking sector, the Central Bank of Nigeria has announced plans to review the universal banking policy introduced in the year 2000. One of the proposed changes is the lowering of capital requirements for special banks. Market watchers believe that this effectively lowers the barriers of entry for those who seek to set up Islamic banking financial institutions.
The current CBN has developed a policy framework, a draft policy framework that allows not just Islamic banking, but some other specialized forms of banking. I think it lowers the barriers to Islamic banking in Nigeria, in that it allows, it lowers the capital requirement from the 25 billion for normal banks to about 10 billion for Islamic banks. So, and then it contains some institutional frameworks for the practice of Islamic banking.
While Islamic banking is yet to take off, Lotus Capital is blazing the trail in the investment management space. In 2008, the company launched a 1 billion Islamic finance investment fund for halal or permissible investments. The success of the offer, which was significantly oversubscribed, indicates the popularity of Islamic investing, which has hardly taken off in Nigeria.
Lotus Capital is the only Islamic finance institution we have in Nigeria. And in 2008, specifically, in February 2008, Lotus Capital raised about 278%, which is amount to 2.78 billion Islamic Finance Investment Fund registered with Securities and Exchange Commission, which is growing ever since after that. And during that particular IPO, we were able to raise about 20,000 people that came together as a pool to invest in this particular Islamic finance fund.
Halal or permissible investment is the watchword for fund managers seeking to practice Sharia-compliant asset management. Given the dearth of investment opportunities in Nigeria's underdeveloped capital markets, investment managers are restricted to 3 broad asset classes.
1, the Islamic screen equity in the capital market, and 2, the Islamic contracts, classical Islamic contracts such as Ijara, which is leasing, Murabaha, which is cost plus, Musharaka, which is partnership, Mudaraba, which is joint ventures, as well as, of course, Sukuk, which is Islamic bond. The other third segment where Islamic finance fund, where Lotus Capital Halal Fund is investing, is real estate investments.
Fund managers say the current tax and other laws in Nigeria make Sharia-compliant investing more difficult. However, things are beginning to change. In an important first step, the Securities and Exchange Commission recently listed the structures of Islamic funds among new rules due to be published in the near future.
Currently, Securities and Exchange Commission is proposing to put in place rules and regulations with respect to Islamic funds. And it is actually a welcome development for such kind of move by a regulator, because Islamic finance is going to be recognized because of its potential we have in our market. And specifically, even they are putting the international best practice by saying every operator that needs this particular Islamic finance license must come with its Sharia Advisory Council, which Lotus Capital already has one since inception, and also the classical contract they've identified so far with respect to Islamic finance, as I mentioned earlier.
Analysts view this as an important first step in the proliferation of Islamic funds, as fund managers seek to tap into the enormous growth potential of this sector.
Like I said, 85 million potential Muslims in Nigeria, minimum Minimum income now is pegged at 15,000. A lot of them are investing 100 naira per day through a susu. So you can imagine the exponential value of potential investments if you're looking at that grassroots level.
The northern states that have their pension funds were not able to invest in the capital market because of their values, of Islamic values, that is interest. They can invest if it is in the Islamic finance products. Likewise, we also have the Gulf region. People are waiting for just Islamic Sharia compliant product in Africa. We can easily attract this if we build something like that. We also have retail outlets that are interested in Islamic finance, as evidenced by our unit trust scheme that we have over 20,000 people that subscribe at a go. If we can build a sukuk around these people, we will attract enormous people that will come and invest.